guys, my name is Britt Nicole. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be going over my March wrap-up. So, since I wore a mask in my March TBR, I decided to wear a mask for my March wrap-up. If you guys don't know, Mardi Gras is around this time of year in New Orleans. I absolutely love the New Orleans culture, so I decided in my March TBR to wear one. And you know what? Like I said in my March TBR, this is my channel. I can do what I want, and I absolutely love these. Like, I have a few over to the side that I love. And yeah, so without further ado, let's jump into my books. I am going to try to go in the order that I read these. Also did vlog a lot during this month, so go over and check out my vlog. So the first book I read was The Bone Witch by Rainbow Chipico. I buddy read this with Macy from The Bright Side Girl and author J.J. Marshall, and I absolutely love this. I know I said in my vlog that I give this more like 3.5 around there stars. Since then, I've had a moment to sit and think about this book, and I'm giving it 4 stars. I absolutely loved it a lot more than most people did. So I've heard a lot of people say like they didn't really like it or they love this book, and I'm the person who loves it. It is a little dark and gothic and has some dark themes to it. So where we start out, we're following T in the past tense, and guys, you don't know that you're following her past tense version. Like, we're getting a present tense later on, and she's telling the story to someone of what happened to her and how she grew up into what she's doing in the present tense. T is 13 in the beginning of this book, and without spoiling anything, I mean, it's on the front of the cover, like, she didn't mean to bring her brother alive. Her family is burying her older brother, and she accidentally brings him back to life because she figures out she is this bone witch. So this bone witch comes into town and takes her away so she can learn how to use her power. And so she goes to this kind of like a boarding school for girls, and like, and the Japanese cultural references in this is absolutely amazing. So they're pretty much like Grisha women in this, and they are being taught how to be this Grisha women and soldiers and fight, but also be very elegant. And I don't know, I absolutely love the Japanese culture in this, and I think that's not something you really hear about with reviews, that this does have a good Japanese culture. But yeah, I really love this, like, to the point I want to read the second one like now. I really enjoyed this book. So the next book I read was Arch Enemies by Marissa Meyer. This is the second book in the Rereads trilogy, and I'm giving it 5 stars. I absolutely love this. So from the first book, Rereads, we are following Nova and Adrian is on the good guy's side, and Nova is on the bad guy's side, and she infiltrates the good guys and the renegades to help her bad guys people. And so she gets into this group of renegades who fight crime, and they have all these amazing abilities. In the first one, if you guys don't know, Renegades was one of my all-time favorite books from 2020, and I'm so glad that I finally got into Arch Enemies, because we pretty much pick up exactly where Renegades lets off into this book. The only thing I'm going to say about this book that was different from Renegades had a lot of, like, yes, backstory and dialogue between the characters, but there was a lot of fighting crime in Renegades, where this one we really got to see the characters develop more into themselves and really understand why Adrian and Nova are doing these certain things and what's really pushing them forward. Yes, we got that in Renegades, but this kind of just enhances that. And then the cute relationship dynamic between Nova and Adrian absolutely is amazing in this book, and so it's 5 stars. I do have plans to read Supernova hopefully next month, because I got to know what happens in this trilogy like right now. These books are so great. So I kind of have like a little bit of a thing going on for March. Like, Bone Witch was dark and gothic. Arch Enemies is not. But I did read Hunting Prince Dracula by Carrie Maniscalco. This is a dark book. It has very dramatic scenes towards the end of the book. And this is the second book in Stalking Jack the Ripper series by Carrie Maniscalco. And I absolutely think I have figured out that she is a new favorite author, because I love Stalking Jack the Ripper. I love this. This was probably 4 to 4.5 stars. I absolutely love this book. And then I read Kingdom of the Wicked by Carrie, and I love that book just as much. So she's really like going up there to becoming a favorite author. But in this book, we pretty much pick up where Stalking Jack the Ripper ends, and I did do a reading vlog on this book, so go over and check out that. So we're following the main character from the first book still. She's going off to this castle to learn how to be pretty much a coroner and learn about the body, but she's having a lot of PTSD problems from the first book into this one. So I really like that representation of, you know, when something bad happens, you know, not everybody just gets over it very quickly. That she is dealing with the fact what happened from the first book into this one. In this one, we are trying to figure out if Prince Dracula has come back alive or not, or what's going on. This is great murder mystery, and it has a little bit of romance in it, but not a lot. But I absolutely love these books, and I do have plans to continue on because I just need more from Carrie. Then let's carry on to Into Legion by Marie Lu. I buddy read this with my friend Macy. Me and Macy buddy read a lot this month, I think at least 2 books this month. But anyways, we're following a guy and a girl, and the girl is on the good side of the society. This is a dystopian book, and the guy is on like the rebel side of everything. Even though he works by himself, they call him Day, and we follow June. June is like a really straightforward person. Like, she's been taught that the government and everything about the government and the military is absolutely amazing, and this is how you should be doing it. Day has figured out that that is not the case in this. But anyways, we are following this plague that has happened. How weird that I've been reading a lot of like plagues going on, especially with like COVID going on. I don't know, the parallel universe in this with our universe right now is really weird. But the government has taken over and said that all these people need these vaccinations, seeing the evil side of the government. So, you know what, maybe a little bit more parallel than we realize. But anyways, I really did enjoy this. I really enjoyed June. I love the instant lovey connection between these two, and I do have plans to pick up the next one. This was 4 stars. So the next 3 books, I think I just kind of want to like hit real quick because they are rereads. So I did reread Onyx by Jennifer Armentrout. This is the 2nd book in the Lux series by her. Since this was a reread, I'm giving it 5 stars just like the first time that I read it. First or second time. This might have been 3rd or 4th time that I reread it. Absolutely love this book. And another reread that I did was Stone Cold Touch by Jennifer L. Armentrout. And this again was 5 stars. The 2nd book in White Hot Kiss. Another book that goes with the Lux books but I've never read before is the novella Oblivion by JLA also. And I've actually never read this. This is the male character's point of view of the first book. So I've actually never read this, and so this was really interesting. So because it's JLA and I love her so much, it is a 5-star read. This was just cute and kind of fun to get to see the main guy Damon's point of view of what happened from the first book. So I want to quickly say that I did have a DNF this month. This is Shadow Spar by C. Rochelle. This was given to me by J.J. Marshall, author J.J. Marshall, and I didn't finish. It's a reverse harem book. So I've tried reverse harem books before and I don't like them, and this is just another one. Like, it really sounds like something up my alley, but I DNF it. I didn't like it. And hopefully I will find a home for that's somebody who will absolutely love that book. So the next book I read is a little bit controversial, but I read Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo, and I do have a spoiler-free vlog out, and I'm going to say I like this book. I really did. It's like 4 to 4.5. There are some shock value scenes. There needs to be warnings on this book that says like rape, drugs, underage sex, a really nasty poop scene, and that's all I'm going to leave that there. Oh my gosh, I'm laughing because it's kind of hard to describe this book, but I still really enjoyed it. Like, the magical system of this, the society system of this book was absolutely amazing. But this is like a murder mystery book. A girl is killed in the beginning of the book, and we follow Alex, who is learning to be this guard type magic person, is in the Leaf Society, and the Leaf Society keeps the other magical societies in check at this university, and multiple people die in this, and I don't know, it's absolutely amazing. And all the way up to the last moment, there was a big plot twist to this. I feel like anyways, it was kind of just like sprinkled in there, and I absolutely love this book, and I can't wait to put it on my shelves. I do see why people don't like this, but like I said in my vlog, maybe that makes me a little bit dark because I did like this book so much. But you know what? It is what it is. I love Leigh Bardugo's writing, and her world building is absolutely amazing. And so I do think I will be continuing on into the next one when it comes out. I'm really happy to say I finally read Tales from the Shadowhunter Academy. This by multiple different authors, but Cassandra Clare being the main one. And I don't know, like, I'm going to give it 3.54 stars. I just don't think some of Cassandra Clare's writing is for me anymore. Like, I almost don't care about the Shadowhunter world anymore. I do want to try to get into Lady Midnight hopefully soon, but I don't know, like, some of the stories in this, because it's a lot of novella stories in this book, but I do feel like you probably need to read this before you jump into the next one, and I'm glad I had some friends who tell me that before I started Lady Midnight, because I think I would have been lost a little bit if I haven't read this. But I'm just not the biggest Cassandra Clare world person anymore. I will be continuing on into Lady Midnight, because I do have Lady Midnight and Lord of Shadows on my shelves. But if I don't like Lady Midnight, I think I'm going to give up on Cassandra Clare's writing. So I also read The Sky Weaver by Kristen Stacey Arley. This is the third book in the Last Name Sarah. And every book in this trilogy, we follow two different main characters. And this one, we follow two girls. And this was fun and was good writing, because I like Kristen Stacey Arley's writing, but Last Name Sarah was my favorite one. But I still really enjoyed this world and everything that's going on. It's just hard to tell you guys what's going on in this book without giving a lot away from the other ones, because they do kind of connect, and I do suggest reading them in order. You can't read them out of order, because they do intertwine and connect. But yeah, I think I'm going to give this like 4 stars. So the next book I have is The Lost City by Amanda Hocking. This follows girl in the Tyrell world. If you guys haven't read those books, go over and check them out. You can read this book without having to read that series, but I think it's beneficial for you to read the Tyrell series before you read this book, because you know more about the world. The world is well built up in this one, so it's not like you're going to miss anything, but to have like a little connection. So we follow a girl who is just abandoned at this hotel, but the innkeeper takes her in and raises her up. She goes to live with this family who had tons of kids, and she becomes their nanny. And then after that, she goes into this city that is actually in the human world, because these are trolls, but the trolls actually look human per se. They just have different characteristics of a human's look. Once she gets to the city, a lot of stuff happens. She wants to try to figure out who her mom was, because her mom might have been like a soldier for the queen, and she doesn't know who her dad is. And in the troll world, blonde hair, blue eyes is very uncommon, and she has blonde hair and blue eyes. And she's also not like a brown hair, green eye, or brown eyed, skinny or fit girl. She is actually a bigger girl. So I did like that representation in this book, because you don't really see a lot of like thicker girls, not big thick, but like thicker girls in YA books. So I really did like this, and do have plans to continue on into the next one, and so I gave this 4 stars. Finally finished Muse and Nightmares by Laini Taylor, the second book in Stranger Dreamer duology, and I'm so glad that I can finally say this. So I did this on audio, and I am gonna say I kind of had the same feelings from Stranger Dreamer into Muse and Nightmares. I did like the background stories more in this. If you've read this, you understand what I'm talking about. And the more world building and magical system building that we got in this book, that was not in the first book, Stranger Dreamer. But I just don't care about the romance in this. I don't know why. Like, I don't care. I liked everything else but the main romance in this book. I am giving it 4 stars because I did enjoy it. I just don't know. Like, me and Macy talked about this book the other night. I just don't know if Laini Taylor's writing and worlds are for me anymore. I know she has like a series before Daughter of Smoking Bone that she wrote a long time ago, or maybe it's recently. I don't know. But I don't know. I will be keeping this because I did enjoy it. It's just not the best thing ever that I've ever read. But yeah, I'm really glad that I finally got a conclusion to this duology. Okay guys, that's all the books that I read in the month of March. Now I gotta figure out how to put this down. But like I was saying guys, that's all the books that I read in the month of March. I had an absolutely great reading month, and I think April's going to be even bigger. So stay tuned to all those videos coming out soon. If you guys liked any of these books, please let me know down in the comments. Like always, please like and subscribe to my channel, and I look forward to seeing everybody soon in my next one. Bye!